1995 looks pretty good up until about Tuesday.
I was going to say all of 1995?
All of 1995. The long range. Never mind.
Put you on the spot for that one, huh?
Of course.
That's our report. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night, and good night.
ABC News and Channel 2 News, recognized as the leader in television news. Tomorrow morning at 6, join Dan Christopher and Janice Weibel for Channel 2 News This Morning.
December 29th, 1994.
5.
It's supposed to be revolutionary,
4.
flesh-tearing,
3.
life-stopping.
2.
But is it any of those things?
1.
His claims may be validated in the long run, but I would have to see to believe.
It has all the trappings of a hoax.
Tonight, a Nightline exclusive. The Rhino under fire. The first independent ballistics test of the controversial bullet.
This is ABC News Nightline. Substituting for Ted Koppel and reporting from Washington, Chris Wallace.
From the moment most of us first heard about it this Tuesday, the Rhino bullet was almost too bad to be true. David Keene, the Alabama defense contractor who developed the bullet, said it could put a hole in someone bigger than a baseball. And he told of its big brother, the Black Rhino, that could penetrate a bulletproof vest and then do the same thing. The anti-gun lobby swung into action. Police officials demanded the cop-killer bullet be kept off the street. Some members of Congress said they'd introduce legislation to ban it. There's just one problem. No outsider we know of has ever seen the cop-killing Black Rhino. And until today, there had been no independent test of either bullet. We'll show you the test we commissioned in a few minutes. As the week has gone on, though, skepticism about the Rhino has grown. Now, the government's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms says they have doubts the cop-killing version even exists. What we want to do tonight is look at the anatomy of a controversy, how the Rhino became a household name in one day based on no evidence. And then we'll give you some hard facts about the bullet. Here's Nightline's Dave Marish.
This is the CBS Evening News.
From ABC.
If you were watching the evening news on television Tuesday night on any of the networks, you probably saw a story about Rhino ammo and especially the Black Rhino bullet.
Bullets much deadlier than any others currently on the market.
It's a killer, even if you're wearing a bulletproof vest.
They are designed to explode like a grenade into thousands of razor-like fragments when they hit human tissue.
We guarantee it will stop any attacker, no matter how big and how fast they're approaching you.
It was just 2 days ago, and David Keene was so ready to talk about his new bullets, there hardly seemed enough channels to hold him.
Once a decision is made to use lethal force, it must operate the first time, high reliability, and work completely every time. Now, because of its forward velocity, the disintegration is very violent and traumatic.
Quite a contrast to today.
Mr. Keene, the NRA is saying that your bullets are a hoax.
And it's not just journalists David Keene is now ducking.
We haven't heard from this gentleman. We haven't seen his product. We tried to contact him, and his line is always busy.
It's significant that Tanya Metaxa and the National Rifle Association have heard nothing about Rhino ammo.
We deal with all the firearms manufacturers in this country and abroad. They send us samples, we test it, and so that we can tell our members, who are the consumers, 3.5 million of them, what the product does and how it does it and how we rate it.
Keene has not only kept his new bullets away from the NRA and those consumers, he's kept them from Richard Feldman of the American Shooting Sports Council and the firearms manufacturers that trade association represents.
Those that I've spoken to were scratching their head and saying, what kind of a news story is this?
Good question. And we put it to Peter Cattell, the man who broke the story nationally in the Periscope section of the December 19th edition of Newsweek. How did he uncover the bullets? Nobody knows.
I picked up the phone, Dave Keene was on the line, and he wanted to tell me all about them.
Cattell might not have learned everything about rhinos, but he did pick up their salient sales pitch. Quote, each of these fragments become lethal shrapnel and are hurled into vital organs. The wound channel is catastrophic. Did Cattell or Newsweek check up on these claims? The answer is yes and...
No, I didn't make any independent tests, but I talked to a firearms dealer whom I know, and I talked to Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and they, independently of each other, said that the Rhino strongly resembled ammunition that's already on the market.
The first reference I saw to it was in Newsweek magazine.
The Associated Press's Bob Dvorak saw Peter Cattell's Periscope item and was intrigued enough to call David Keene in Alabama and write up a story, which got picked up in Tuesday morning's New York Times and dozens of smaller newspapers across the country.
Mr. Keene said he had done his tests in his own lab there in Huntsville.
Dvorak says the lack of verification for Keene's claims troubled him.
We tried to get some independent tests, but nobody was able to get some of the ammunition to be able to test it.
To the NRA's Metaxa, all the news media speculation without any specifications added up to one thing.
It has all the trappings of a hoax, in that we have a manufacturer who is not yet a manufacturer. We have a product that we have seen pictures of but has never been tested.
No one may have seen the proof of David Keene's claims, but it seems every law officer and a slew of politicians could see and publicly decry their implications.
I would urge Congress to quickly act on this round and ban this weapon, this round, because if we do not, we could have a significant number of persons killed.
Today I'm announcing introduction of legislation that will ban all cop killer bullets. These bullets, such as the Black Rhino, have only one purpose in mind, and that is to kill policemen.
Representative Schumer's ultra-quick response was matched on the Senate side by Pat Moynihan and Bill Bradley, but their plans to ban have been superseded by David Keene's even quicker withdrawal of his Black Rhinos. They will disappear sight unseen, much less independently tested. We have seen 4 regular Rhino rounds, and we've tested them. The results when we come back.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Ford Motor Company.
This is a perfect night for a drive. Dark, foggy. Your eyes play tricks on you. I love it, because here at Ford Motor Company, we're working on a vision enhancement system that lets the driver see through even the worst conditions. Some people might think we're mad scientists, but Ford has challenged us to design a car that can see better than the driver. I call that vision.
Ford, quality is job one.
If you were AT&T, the old American Telephone and Telegraph, the biggest, most powerful company in the universe, what would you be scared of? If you were AT&T, you'd be scared of only one thing. Me, from MCI. You'd be scared I'd call your customers and show them the savings with MCI, and you'd worry that they'd really like the idea and switch to MCI. Lighten up, AT&T. Don't be so scared of me and MCI. You have millions of customers, and it's going to be years before I can get through to all of them.
Will your home security system work when you need it? 2020 hired a burglar to break into a home to see. You'll be alarmed at the response. Is any home security system worth the money? Watch 2020 Friday.
With a record-breaking year in sight, Self-Service Furniture will make it worth your while to help send their sales figures right off the chart. Be a hard nose about saving money. Do it now at Self-Service Furniture.
Consider this. Since every car has 4 wheels, doesn't it make sense you'd want to get the most out of all of them? That's why you should check out a Subaru Impreza sedan or wagon with all-wheel drive, the ultimate safety feature, which transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. So 4 wheels do the work instead of just 2, proving the old adage that there's safety in numbers. And now you can get a Subaru for this impressive number. See your dealer today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Until now, all the media coverage, all the talk of legislation has been about 2 bullets we know next to nothing about. The existence of the so-called armor-piercing bullet is now in question. The bullets you're seeing Nightline test on our program tonight were sent first to reporters at Newsweek magazine, who shared them with us. Tonight we'll tell you what we know about the regular rhino, for which such extraordinary claims have been made.
Maybe they don't need it right now, but if they do, we'll be there and we'll continue the development of it.
From the start, David Keene has asked the world to trust his ballistic tests of rhino and black rhino bullets. Yesterday, the Huntsville Times photographed his latest demonstration of so-called proofs of his basic claim that utilizing polymer technology he had already developed for paints for stealth airplanes, he has revolutionized handgun ammunition.
We found that we could coat bullets and we could actually give them special benefits or special performance aspects that are not available to a typical ball or typical NATO round.
To check that assertion, we went to the H.P. White Lab in the Maryland Hills north of Baltimore, one of the country's best ballistics and firearms testing labs used by police departments from New York to California, and actually shot rhino rounds into a 2-foot block of gelatin.
Many years ago, the United States Army, I believe in the Wound Ballistics Laboratory, determined that a ballistic gelatin 20% by weight with water was a fair approximation of human flesh.
Using a special camera filming at more than 100 times normal speed, we traced the straight and narrow path of a standard full metal jacket .45 automatic bullet as it pushed 19 inches deep into the gelatin.
Because it is somewhat transparent, you can now photographically determine what's happening in the dynamics of the penetration.
3, 2, 1.
Then we test-fired David Keene's rhino round. His literature led us to expect a gaping wound 4 to 5 inches in diameter, 9 inches deep. But the test results didn't measure up. The wound channel was damaging, but it wasn't 9 inches deep, just 3.5, and not 4 to 5 inches across, but less than 2 inches. Hardly revolutionary results, our experts said.
Yes, we have seen it. It is not a conventional pattern, but it is one easily produced by a more exotic configuration of bullet.
A catastrophic wound and more than likely death will follow nearly instantaneously.
Does this test demonstrate that?
No, it does not. There have been tests demonstrated to demonstrate that a lethal shot with conventional ammunition into the heart, which destroys the heart, leaves the victim with approximately 15 seconds where he has total muscle control and total mental control. And if that individual had a firearm in his hand, I don't know of any gun that could not be emptied in 15 seconds. So that even a lethal shot onto an assailant, into the heart at least, does not disable that individual from still inflicting grievous injury on the defender.
Remember, Keene is not talking here about his allegedly armor-piercing black rhino bullet. He's making the claim for the regular old rhino bullet, that it will instantaneously kill or disable your ordinary intruder, and he says if it hits an intruder who is wearing police body armor,
it will stop them. It'll stop you dead. It'll probably shatter all the ribs in your chest.
we fired a standard .45 automatic round and a Rhino into a heavy-duty level 3A bulletproof vest.
Neither of the rounds penetrated. As you can see here, the backside of the armor is degraded very significantly from the impact, but neither of them penetrated.
Careful measurement showed the Rhino's impact was just 2 millimeters deeper than the standard bullets, hardly enough of a difference, Don Dunn thought, to shatter a rib cage. And this Rhino was by far the most powerful of the 3 we test-fired. The other 2 Rhino shells left the muzzle 25% and 35% slower, enough our experts thought to degrade significantly the bullet's effective firing range. And Don Dunn said firing 3 bullets of such varying levels of energy
would probably result in malfunction of the firearm, so that it would not cycle and you would not be able to fire the next shot if the velocity were too low or too high.
After our test shots, Don and his son Eric dissected our Rhinos and found they thought mostly used parts from Winchester rounds, reloaded with 5 tiny shotgun-like pellets and some polymer plastic. Nothing radically different about this, they agreed, and they agreed on something else. The claims made for the Black Rhino bullet, that it could first penetrate body armor and then disperse inside the human body, left them, well, skeptical.
For any type of projectile to sense the ability to not react or deform after penetrating a hard target and then all of a sudden expand and deliver that energy is to say the least, a very, very difficult problem, and I have never seen anything that comes close to accomplishing that.
Sounds like a smarter weapon than any in the current classroom, huh?
Yes, it does.
Of course, as Don Dunn reminded me, technology is always changing and something new is always popping up under the sun. But for all the fear and outrage it has already unleashed, the Black Rhino bullet, for now at least, looks more like the mythical unicorn than the unique home defense system its inventor proposes. I'm Dave Marish for Nightline in Washington.
We invited manufacturer David Keene to be on our program tonight. He declined. But when we come back, we'll talk to the first congressman to speak out against the new bullets and to the chief lobbyist for the National Rifle Association.
January 29th, after the Super Bowl. Stay tuned for the biggest TV event of the year.
You've won $10 million.
Watch Publishers Clearinghouse surprise this year's $10 million winner live as it's happening. Enter now and it could be you.
Your legs are stretched far in front of you. A nice tea is nearby. Vivaldi begins to play, yet you feel a rush of adrenaline. Where are you?
Mothers have learned from countless doctors and pharmacists to take care of coughs with Robitussin. And they've taken this advice home. Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom. Ask your doctor or pharmacist.
Next time, champagne do's and don'ts for New Year's Eve.
Plus, actress Connie Selica and Mr. New Year's Eve himself, Dick Clark.
Good Morning America here on ABC.
It's the least we can do. It's last, but not least. It will give you a new lease on life. Introducing the Lexus ES Lease. For a limited time, you can lease a front-wheel drive ES for just $1,500 down and $399 per month for 36 months. It's an offer of such extraordinary value, not even the worst lease cliches can demean it. Put a visit to Lexus of Portland on your lease of things to do. Sorry.
Don't fight it. It's time to get out your pencil and check your list because Mervyn's New Year's sale has just begun. At Mervyn's, you'll celebrate the new year right with savings throughout the store. It's out with the old and in with the new. All Hager slacks for men, all sprockets for kids, all denim jeans. So read your list, check it twice, and hurry down to Mervyn's New Year's sale. It's going on through Saturday only.
And right now, you'll find New Year's clearance prices on clothes and shoes for everyone.
Automotive experts praised our cab-forward innovation, smiled on our continued success, and followed us to a new plateau, naming Chrysler Cirrus Motor Trend's Car of the Year. Your Chrysler Plymouth dealer now presents the Car of the Year celebration. For a limited time, get 3.9% financing on Plymouth Voyager or $500 cash back, making it this low price, plus great lease rates. Now, during the Car of the Year celebration.
See your local Northwest Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Joining us now from Kent, Connecticut, Congressman Charles Schumer, who came forward Tuesday to say he would propose legislation to bar the black rhino. And from Washington, Tanya Metaxa, chief lobbyist for the National Rifle Association, who believes almost everyone has overreacted to this story. What do you think, Mrs. Metaxa, that we've been taken for a ride here?
I think there has been a great deal of too much media attention to somebody's claims that he's made the perfect piece of ammunition to hurt somebody. However, it's interesting that this media wants to believe this and has been urged by Congressman Schumer, the anti-gun politician, to buy into this story. After all, if I were to invent a car that went from 0 to 60 in 1 second, wouldn't you ask me if I could prove it before you went and did a whole news segment? Every major media has done a segment on this man.
Congressman Schumer, what about that? Do you have any second thoughts about coming out so quickly and calling for a ban on these bullets?
No, well, this has been a long fight. Congress has tried to ban these bullets since 1982 when Congressman Biaggi introduced legislation. And in fact, because the technology keeps changing, there was a new kind of real cop-killer bullet that was banned in the crime bill. They used to say it had to be solid metal alloy, and then this Swedish manufacturer, came up with the N39B, which just had a coating. So this is a real problem, and I think the issue is not whether David Keene is a charlatan, your piece proves that quite well, but rather will Tanya Metaxa and everyone else join in putting together legislation that says all cop-killer bullets, whoever invents them, are banned, and we ought to ban them before they come out on the market.
But Congressman, doesn't it look like a knee-jerk reaction? Doesn't it, in some sense, hurt your credibility when you come out in a news conference and call for banning a bullet that it appears now may not exist?
Well, I never called for banning this particular bullet.
What was that news conference about on Tuesday?
It was about banning all cop-killer bullets. And that's the problem. There are many, as I just mentioned. The Swedish came out with a cop-killer bullet very, very recently that was real and had to be banned. The NRA has fought. Let's ask Ms. Metaxa right now, will you support legislation that will ban all of these bullets, which have no legitimate purpose other than to kill policemen? And up to now, the NRA's answer has been no, no, no. So, you know, David Keene is a hoax. The issue of protecting cops, the issue that we have too many very, very dangerous weapons out there is very, very real.
Mrs. Metaxa, could you answer the congressman?
Chris, this anti-gun politician is concerned about banning all ammunition, and he's using he's using this hoax to create an
Answer
impression.
my question, Tanya. Will you ban all cop-killer bullets, not any other bullet, not legitimate bullets that hunters use? Will you propose or join me in banning them? Yes or no?
Let me just add my question to that, if I can, Mrs. Metaxa.
That's the key question,
and I want to
Chris.
get. Okay, wait a minute, Congressman, because then I want to get back to the test, and that is the NRA is on record against cop-killer bullets. So why not join legislation to ban cop-killer bullets specifically?
The legislation that was passed in 1986 specifically talked about bullets by their composition, not by some hypothetical what it would do. It's obvious that this politician from New York has decided to use this hoax as another way of promoting his agenda, which is to ban all ammunition and all firearms. Now, Congressman, please.
Tanya, that's not true. Don't say lies. I'm not for banning all ammunition or all firearms. I've never said it, never introduced a bill. I've introduced bills about cop-killer bullets, and you're avoiding the question.
Mrs. Metaxa, it seems like we're headed back to an old argument here, so let me ask you about the new information that we brought out today. What's your reaction to the test of the rhinos, and what does it say about how revolutionary or not these bullets are?
Well, my reaction to the test is the same as those who have shown up on your program from HP White Labs. It's obviously that this man who has put out this information wasn't telling everybody the truth. His ammunition doesn't live up to its claims, and what we said before, it has all the trappings of a hoax. And it seems to me that the NRA has been vindicated in this manner. What we have here, though, is that politicians, more than the politician from New York, are jumping on a bandwagon to push a policy objective of banning a non-existent product. This is a very strange way of making public policy.
Well, let me say, first, I've been joined by legislators, not just from New York, and I don't see what you have against New York, Ms. Metaxa, but from around the country, Democrats and Republicans, in trying to ban these. Second, when there was a bill about the composition bullets you talked about in 1984, the NRA called it a hoax then. Quote, from an NRA letter, it's a Trojan horse waiting outside the gun owner's door. You call everything a hoax. You don't even want to ban machine guns or bazookas. So don't hide behind this charlatan, David Keene. Just say that you will support all of law enforcement, all the cops and policemen and women who are afraid of being shot by these kinds of terrible bullets that don't kill deer and aren't used for target practice, but simply are aimed at killing policemen. Say you're going to ban just them. And that's what I'll say. And you're not saying it.
Congressman, we are out of time,
Yes,
and my
sir.
guess is if we were here for another half hour, she wouldn't say it. So
well,
we're going to have
made my case then, haven't I,
we are out of
Chris?
time, and we're going to have to end it there, Mrs.
Chris,
Metaxa.
the
We may not have a
politician-
new magic bullet, but it's been an interesting week and perhaps a useful debate, and we're not going to settle it here. Thank you both for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment.
You may have made a difference in someone's life. We can't tell you their name or anything about them. We can tell you that by using or being a designated driver like 80 million other Americans, you've made a very real contribution. You see, drunk driving fatalities declined by 32% in the last 10 years. We salute America's designated drivers, and we urge everyone to join you. By doing what's right, you're making things better. A message from Budweiser.
Dear Midas, the brakes on my 4x4 were squealing, so I went to your shop. I came with my Midas guarantee, and I was prepared to fight to have it honored. Your people reviewed my records and inspected my car. Still unsure of the cost, I was told.
The shoes and pads are guaranteed, no charge.
Then my brakes were fixed. I was truly amazed. Thank goodness for honest people. Sincerely, Anna Touchstone.
If you were AT&T, the old American Telephone and Telegraph, the biggest, most powerful company in the universe, what would you be scared of? If you were AT&T, you'd be scared of only one thing. Me, from MCI. You'd be scared I'd call your customers and show them the savings with MCI, and you'd worry that they'd really like the idea and switch to MCI. Lighten up, AT&T. Don't be so scared of me and MCI. You have millions of customers, and it's going to be years before I can get through to all of them.
Imagine a couple of Swedish engineers have dinner with a couple of German engineers. The Swedish engineers over herring talk about safety, while the German engineers over bratwurst talk about the joy of driving. And what do you think they'd end up with? Probably the new Volvo 960. Now the only question is, who's going to pick up the tab? The new 960 from Volvo, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Tomorrow on 2020, will your home security system work when you need it? 2020 hired a professional burglar to break into a house, and see the results tomorrow on this ABC.